Stupid podcast.
It's Monday the 23rd, right?
Oh my God, it is Monday the 23rd. Good thing he said it because I always screw the date up.
Yeah, you do.
I
we
really
got to do like 8 takes.
But since it's Monday, it's Technology Bites.
We're going to drop a little technology news on you. Basically, what's a little roundup of what happened last week.
So what did happen? Oh my God.
A bunch of stuff happened. And there's one thing I specifically do want to talk about, but we'll wait to get to it.
Okay, all right. Well, then I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
So Nest, who is owned by Google, so really when I say Nest, we say Google.
We do.
Google just dropped $500 million to buy Dropcam.
They're buying everything recently.
They really are.
They bought Nest. They bought some robotics companies. They bought they bought Dropcam.
So the reason the Dropcam acquisition is really kind of interesting, and the fact that they're doing it as a Nest acquisition, not a Google acquisition.
Think they're going to add security to Nest?
Yes, absolutely. So you're going to.
That's a huge thing right now.
So I think you're going to start seeing more home automation stuff coming out of Nest over the next few years, starting with this Dropcam integration.
Well, now, I mean, Google and Apple are right now in a head-to-head race to see who's going to get into the home automation business first.
Right. And Apple doesn't want in the home automation business. This is the thing that people don't know. But they don't. So, and everybody's thinking they do, and I'm going to tell you why I think they don't. Apple plans on making no technology.
That is true. They just want to make...
They want you to use your phone. They have this thing called HomeKit for the iOS 8 that will essentially give you all the APIs. Now, the cool thing about that, and I mentioned this, if you guys are going to want to go back and rewatch Tech Bytes from 2 weeks ago, I did a recap of the WWDC, and I actually talked about this a little bit. This will give you the ability to actually, from an Apple standpoint, to use your iPhone or your iPad or whatever and link what would normally be technologies that don't maybe talk to each other.
And they'll talk to each other
through iOS.
Through iOS.
So you'll be able to open your garage door and turn lights on and do things like that from technologies like Philips Hue for the lights and Genie,
which you can already
Craftsman.
basically do with the iPad now, but they'll probably combine them into one center area, just slap all the APIs together.
And who doesn't want to go, Siri, turn my lights on?
Exactly. Now, however, Google is huge into manufacturing. They love putting out technology. That's a big thing. So with Androids starting to take more and more percentages of the market, if you had, say, Google's home protection service or whatever like that, and you've got any Android phone,
my problem with that might be though. Look at the percentage of Android devices that are currently on KitKat as an example.
And look at the amount of Android devices that are currently kind of terrible.
Well, and terrible from a standpoint of even not just that they're terrible because they are, but also that they're really, really old versions of Android.
So, and updating them is almost impossible for a lot of them.
So it is getting better, but that's
it's not iOS level where we're only breaking your phone every couple of years.
Well, and it's not even that we're breaking your phone. That's the one thing Apple's done very good about owning that market, owning the technology, and not letting anyone make changes to it. And they do this with obviously their operating system for their PCs too. That's why they have 70 to 80 to 90% turnover to the next version of the OS that fast. But still, I think you're right. Google does love making technology.
And I think you're right that Apple will be like, hey, let's let everybody else make all that other stuff and not have to pay any money out and still roll around in big money banks like Scrooge McDuck at the end of the day.
But speaking of Android,
all right,
and we'll throw in a little Microsofty for those Windows Phone guys out there.
All three of you?
What, 4.
Oh.
I know a guy just bought a phone.
Okay.
So... actually, there's the Lumia 635.
Oh, I know. I'm not going to knock them. There's like one
nice little
out of the
phone
10 phones that they have out there. There is a few phones that are great, but that's the same thing with Android, in my opinion.
But what I want to talk about isn't the phones necessarily. It's something that neither of them have.
Security.
Well, they have security to a point, but what they don't have is kill switches. They don't have.
What it is.
They don't have good anti-theft really integrated.
But it's coming.
It is coming in both cases. Both Microsoft and Google have announced that by 2015 you will have
So try not to get your phone stolen before 2015, because otherwise you're kind of SOL on that one.
So that's a big deal. I mean, we have that in Apple now, of course.
And my question is, do you think we'll see a scandal with it the way that we saw with the iOS theft prevention came out, but I guarantee you the same guys, even though that guy's arrested, the same kind of type of people will go and immediately attack those to see if they're on par with Apple's.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think especially with the Android. I mean, Microsoft, I don't know if they have a big enough market share yet for people to care so much.
Yeah, I think that's like the whole...
But,
back in the 90s, everybody was like, well, Macs can't get viruses. I was like, yeah, they can. It's just nobody cared to program because it wasn't a big enough market share.
Linux doesn't get viruses? Yes,
it does.
So, and since we're on the topic of phones...
This is what I want to talk about.
All right, I'll let you go.
Okay, so this week, Amazon announced their new phone. It's the Amazon Fire. I have not been this excited about a phone.
It's a very cool phone.
Since the iPhone came out.
It actually is a very cool phone.
Do I think it's going to be amazing on the first gen?
No.
Nope. No. It's going to be a fucking mess.
I have one bone to pick with the Amazon Fire.
Okay.
Why did you name your Discovery service Firefly?
Well, because there's no other... It's perfect.
Got me right in the field.
Just like a leaf in the wind.
Got me right in the field.
They just want to remind you of everything you can go watch on the Amazon Prime service.
Maybe that's what.
Amazon Prime Live. You can watch
Firefly.
You can all 13 episodes and a movie. Hashtag 6 seasons and 13 episodes in a movie. But darkest timeline.
I think it's cool. The Mayday feature.
I want to talk about this. So
on the phone.
The Mayday button is, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
This is not a new thing.
No, it's been around since second generation.
We've been
Kindle Fire,
able to do this. Yeah. But the way they're going about it now...
No, they've done a very good job of integrating that.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
And you have a live person who can draw on your screen.
Right.
You want to talk about somebody who should have done that?
Apple should still... They could still do that and probably should. You're right. For those who don't know what he's talking about, if you've ever hosted or been on like a WebEx session or any kind of live meeting or any conference at all where you can share things... Well, in fact, I work the information disclosure, AT&T. We have one called Connect. I mean, there's 9 million
a bajillion
versions
of them. Yeah.
The point is, these are very handy ways to both present information, but also as a troubleshooting tool. So Amazon, and I don't know who their back end is. I have a feeling it's Cisco, but I honestly
it's probably Cisco.
I don't really know.
I'll be willing to bet money that a name brand like Amazon, they're going with a name brand like Cisco.
So, but whatever their back end is, they do a screen share for your phone, and like you were saying, like RJ was saying, they can draw on your screen, they can open things up for you. Oh, let me help you with that, sir. It's over here, and they'll open that app for you, and they'll show you where it is. And you can see them.
You're going to see more and more of this. And what surprises me, there's not a private use for like us who work in IT. Now there are some. I dealt with one, which was Airlock or Air something, or I don't remember what it was called.
The irony of that is years and years and years ago, and we still do it in Office Communications server, now Office Link server. We used to do this with remote terminal services stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, it's the
I still do it with remote terminal services.
The idea is not.
Log me in. But what I say is for your phone or for your iPad. I'm really shocked that there's not a bigger market for that, because for IT people, that's a huge deal, especially the way that more places are going BYOD.
Well, and not just BYOD, but also going thin devices too.
Absolutely.
You know, we have an initiative where we're taking people off laptops and putting them on iPads, as an example.
Well, we use predominantly thin clients for all our actual collectors at my job.
Well, and if you do that, then you need something to be able to talk to that thin client, and this is that type of technology. Yep. So, no, I agree. I think I'm excited about it. It was funny because I remember when they first introduced this for the Kindle Fire 3 years ago now, I guess.
Yeah, it was like really under the radar the way they launched it, and I didn't even I'd forgotten about it completely until I saw the commercial. And I saw the commercial on Hulu.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It was just like I saw no tech sites reporting on it. Then I saw the commercial on Hulu, and then 3 hours later, it was everywhere.
Yeah. So
it's like they did a weird just sneak it in there launch.
They kind of did. But
so speaking of things that we do want,
let's go to something we don't.
No one wants this. So BlackBerry, and if you follow us on Facebook, I've reported a couple things recently about BlackBerries. BlackBerry.
A little Freudian slip there because they're boring me. BlackBerry's kind of dwindling sales
slowly.
Well, not that slow, really. I mean, it's.
They're tipping off because nobody's used them.
Here's what I don't understand about BlackBerry.
All right.
Why have they not gone the Sega route?
Yeah, making software because y'all make great software. But it's a thing. You can get BlackBerry Messenger, which still a lot of people use that.
You
can get it on the. You can get it on the iPhone. You can get it on. I think you can get it on Android too.
You can.
So I mean, again, do I use it?
No, I
God,
don't
no.
I use
Facebook Messenger or iMessage.
Kik is a popular one.
I don't know, Kik. That's for teenage girls who need to show you their boobs. That's what it is.
Is that what it's for?
That's what Kik
I thought that's
is for.
what Snapchat was for.
Kik is also...
I can't keep up with all these damn chat
Kik,
clients.
Snapchat, Tinder. I mean, all these things are for hooking up.
Tinder's hooking up, totally. It was funny because I was talking to a friend of mine about that, and she's like, I don't understand Tinder. I was like, are you out to get it?
Trying to get some booty. That's what you're trying to do.
Like, well, that's why you don't understand the app.
It's hot or not, but you're getting some booty with it.
Right, exactly. So... All right, so Kik is teenage girls showing boobs. I really thought that was...
I mean, it's for like keeping them on the low messaging.
All right.
You know? So
all right. Well, but we're getting sidetracked.
They're coming out with a phablet.
Why?
I can tell you why.
So their new device lineup came out. They've got yet another keyboard phone
which no one cares.
I mean, but that's their staple. They have another.
Congratulations for having the world's tiniest keys that I can't type on.
They have another 4-inch phone, and then they have this 7-inch. And here's what makes this thing a piece of shit. I'm sorry. It has the damn BlackBerry
language.
It has the BlackBerry keyboard on it. It's basically they took like an 8800 Bold,
and blew it up.
It is the ugliest.
So if you've ever wanted to have a iPad Mini with a keyboard on it and a terribly slow operating system that has basically no apps anymore,
you need
to buy it.
Yeah, it's called the Passport.
Of course it's called the Passport. Of course it is. Because that makes total sense.
Yeah, it's...
for business-minded individuals.
BlackBerry, why?
BlackBerry, here's why. Because they're sitting at the back of the bus like that weird kid who smells that nobody wants to talk to going, hey, I'm still here. I'm still here, you guys. Mr. Bus Driver, that was my stop. That was... No? Okay, we'll just come back around. And then his parents have to pick him up when they get there and the bus driver realizes that kid's still on the bus.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to buy BlackBerry out. I think somebody's going to buy them because they want the software.
I was actually genuinely surprised when Microsoft did not buy them last year just for the patent library.
That's what I'm saying, just for the Bez stuff or the encryption stuff or any of that.
But I mean, because they have like 1,100 patents or something.
That's how they're still in existence.
But they're just bad.
It's not good.
So the last thing, tech news I want to talk about is slightly news, but I'm going to take it on a slant that you're probably not expecting.
Okay.
So T-Mobile announced their Uncarrier 6.0 update this week. Now everybody was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So first, let me tell you what the announcement is.
It wasn't that cool.
T-Mobile is going to take things like Spotify, Pandora, and a few other ones. I don't remember them all off the top of Rhapsody, I think. Well, and they're still by the way, they're still pay services.
Yeah.
But what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, all of those music streaming services, and I think there were 6 at launch total. Of those, they're never, ever, 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 ever going to count against your data plan.
Which is a big thing. That is
everybody's all happy.
There are two things.
Game on, T-Mobile. And they're all behind it, and they're all happy.
I don't know how T-Mobile's coming up with the money for this.
I'm not worried about that. Oh, well, they're coming with money. They get people to think about buying them.
And then they don't buy them. That's what. I mean,
they're $4 or $5 billion ahead right now for that reason. Mm-hmm. That's not.
This is going to affect other carriers, though.
That's not even the route I'm going.
Okay, I got to hear this.
See, I think it's a bad idea. Now, I have to... So, information disclosure. I know that I work for AT&T. I don't work for AT&T's mobility, but I have to say that out loud, so when I start talking like this...
You think it's going to get the data circuits filled up? Because people aren't worried?
No. Well, it might a little bit, but no. All of you out there in internet land know where I stand on net neutrality by now. Mm-hmm. What you don't realize is what this is to net neutrality.
What?
This is a kick in its fucking face.
Why?
Well, here's why. How do you take a set of streaming somethings and not make it count against your bandwidth? The same way Comcast doesn't
fast lane by putting in a fast lane.
By prioritizing the packets, by collecting them and pushing them down. It's the same reason you're on Comcast and if you use their on-demand service on your PC and your home network, it doesn't count against your 350 gig data cap. It's all the same thing. So while this at the front end, this T-Mobile thing sounds like a really great idea for consumers,
it isn't.
It's actually not. It really isn't a good idea. It's a horrible idea. Because all it's doing... So what happens now, let's say...
Comcast, I don't want
down
Netflix
the road,
to count against my traffic either. That's what I want.
Yeah. Well, but not only that, what happens down the road when T-Mobile has done this for maybe 2 or 3 years. And let's say AT&T jumps on and Verizon jump on. So now your top 3 are doing it. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, they go to Pandora and say, we're doing you a really big solid here.
Let's see where this is going.
Yeah. This is why I do not think this is a good idea. This goes against everything I stand for in net neutrality. So
this is a great idea, but it's a terrible idea at the same time.
Right. And that's the problem with net neutrality. Because every time someone talks about a service that goes in the face of net neutrality, at the front end, it always sounds like a good idea to the consumer.
Yeah.
And it does. I mean...
Well, they've got a great spin on it to make it sound good for the consumer, and it's going to screw businesses, and it's going to screw consumers in the long run.
Yes, it will. So this is a horrible idea. It's a horrible idea. I just want to put that out there because nobody's talking about this angle.
I didn't even think about it.
No one is talking about this angle, and it's really bothering me because, I'm sorry. I'm like I said, So I just wanted to bring that up because I see no one talking about this.
Sheesh. Well, thanks for tuning in. We're gonna go ahead and end that one on the most depressing note possible.
I know, bringing you down just a little bit, but and I think that actually is my last.
I think that is the last story.
So I really am. I should have started with that one. I'm sorry.
Should have dropped that one at the beginning. Hopefully, we'll have some nice fun news for you tomorrow on Game Changer. Spoiler alert!
I got one more.
We won't.
Hey, Apple dropped a cheaper iMac this week.
You hear that sound? That's the sounds of everyone who cares.
But it's only $1,000. I have a problem with it too, though.
Oh, it's only $1,000.
Look, I have a 17-inch MacBook Pro over here. I've had this thing it's now almost 4 years old.
I know.
I know I paid more for it than my last Windows laptop, but it's also lasted 4 times longer. So, I'm just saying. My problem though with the new iMac, the cheaper iMac, it wasn't surprised.
What processor? What video card?
It's an i5, I think, which is fine. That's not my issue, and in fact, the video card isn't even my issue. The RAM is completely non-upgradable. It's soldered in.
No, I will not. Don't ever. I don't care who you are. I don't care how bad you want a Mac. Just pay the extra $600. Don't ever get because you're gonna need to.
You cannot upgrade that Mac.
What if a RAM stick goes bad? Your computer is now trash.
Well, yeah. Well, you can take it to the Apple Store
for $800.
Yeah. So just well, if you do. Here's the real lesson.
Why would they do that?
If you buy that, spend the $80 and get Apple Care. That way, when it does, if it does break,
then they have to fix it for free.
I mean, honestly, mine they really tend to not. But yes, exactly, because you can't upgrade it, so you're gonna have it a while.
For reals.
But, yeah. So tomorrow is Game Changer. You're starting to say
we'll be talking about the Watch Dogs controversy that's going on with the actual found files. Inside some of the scripts, so stick around. Come back to that tomorrow.
They're really kind of sticking it to the man, aren't they?
Well, we'll talk about how Ubisoft is. They have lived long enough to
hold that thought. Let them. I want them to come back and hear the rest of that sentence.
All right, we'll come back on this.
So in
tomorrow.
the meantime, like us on Facebook.
Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
And have you subscribed to us on YouTube yet?
Or subscribe to us on YouTube?
Have you done it?
Like us on.